There is a divine timing to everything in this universe, a sacred rhythm that cannot be rushed. When your heart is aligned, when your soul is prepared, when your energy says, "I am ready," that is when the universe unfolds the dream you've carried within you. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are simply being readied for what is already yours. Your desire is sacred. It is not a fleeting wish or a random craving. It is a message from your soul, a seed planted by the divine itself. What you long for, what you dream of, is not meaningless. It is purposeful. It is powerful. It is your spirit reaching out to life and saying, "I am ready to expand. I am ready to evolve. I am ready to receive more." Every desire you hold in your heart is a part of your soul's journey, a compass guiding you toward your highest expression. We live in a world where many people have been taught to feel guilty about their desires. Maybe you've been told that wanting more is selfish. Maybe you've been shamed into believing that dreaming big is unrealistic or foolish. But nothing could be further from the truth. Your desire is not something to be hidden or silenced. It is something to be honored. Because when you desire something deeply and truly, you are connecting with the creative energy of the universe. You are being invited into co-creation with life itself. You see, the universe does not plant dreams in your heart without giving you the power to realize them. If you have a vision, it's because that version of your life already exists in potential. It is waiting for you, calling to you, growing inside you. And when you treat that desire with reverence, when you stop doubting it and start nurturing it, it begins to unfold with grace and beauty. But first, you must stop judging your desire. You must stop questioning whether you're worthy of it. You are worthy simply because you exist. Your worth is not based on what you've achieved, how much you have, or how others see you. You were born worthy. And every desire you feel deeply and authentically is a reflection of your innate worthiness. You are allowed to want what you want. You are allowed to believe it's possible. You are allowed to walk in the direction of your dream with confidence and trust. Desire is the language of the soul. It's how your inner being communicates with you. It's how life calls you forward into growth and change. And the more you listen to it, the more alive you feel. So many people are exhausted, not because they do too much, but because they've silenced what they truly want. They've buried their dreams under layers of fear, guilt, and self-doubt. But no matter how long your desire has been hidden, it can never die. It will always live within you, waiting for you to remember it, waiting for you to say, "Yes, I believe I am ready." There is no desire too small or too big for the universe. Whether it's a longing for peace, love, success, health, or freedom, each desire matters. Each one is a step on the path to your soul's fulfillment. And when you stop pushing your dreams away, when you start embracing them with love and belief, the universe responds. Life begins to organize itself around your faith. Doors open, people show up, opportunities align. Not by force, but by flow. Not through struggle, but through surrender to your inner truth. You don't have to know how it will all unfold. You don't need every step mapped out. You just need to stay connected to the feeling, the vibration of what you desire. Feel it in your heart, see it in your mind, speak it with love. And most importantly, allow yourself to become the version of you who already lives that dream. Because desire is not about getting something from the outside, it's about awakening something on the inside. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. So let yourself want what you want. Don't dim your light to make others comfortable. Don't shrink your dream to fit someone else's opinion. You weren't born to play small. You were born to shine, to thrive, to express your fullest self. And your desire is the gateway to that expansion. It is the bridge between where you are and where your soul knows you're meant to go. Honor it. Listen to it. Feed it with faith. Let it guide you like a compass. Not because you are lacking something, but because life is always calling you toward more love, more joy, more truth. You don't need permission, you don't need proof, you only need belief. Delay is not denial. Just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. Just because the door hasn't opened now doesn't mean it never will. Life has a divine rhythm, a sacred timing, and when we try to force our way through it, we often create unnecessary pain. The truth is, some of the greatest blessings you will ever receive are the ones that take time. And the waiting is not wasted. It's preparing you for what you've asked for. It can be so easy to fall into doubt when things aren't moving as fast as you'd like. You start wondering if you're doing something wrong. You begin to question if your dream is too big or if maybe it's not meant for you at all. But let me tell you this. The delay is not there to break you. It's there to build you. It's there to help you grow into the person who can carry the dream with grace. Because a dream given too early can become a burden instead of a blessing. There is something deeply meaningful about divine timing. Sometimes you think you're ready, but you're only looking at the surface. You're focused on the outcome, but the universe is focused on your foundation. The delay isn't punishment, it's protection. There are lessons you still need to learn, energies you need to release, and strength you must develop. Not because you're not good enough, but because what you're asking for requires a stronger version of you. And life loves you enough to say, not yet. Think about how nature works. A flower doesn't bloom the day the seed is planted. First, it breaks open in the darkness. First, it grows roots. And during that time, there is no visible sign of progress. Yet all the magic is happening beneath the soil. That is what your delay looks like. It may seem like nothing is changing, but deep inside your life, something powerful is unfolding. Patience is not a punishment. It is a sacred pause. But it's hard, isn't it? It's hard when you've been doing the inner work, staying positive, visualizing, healing, believing, and still the dream feels far away. You start to wonder if you're being ignored by the universe. But I want you to know this. You are always being heard. Always. Your prayers are felt. Your intentions are received. Your efforts are seen. The delay is not silence. It's a preparation stage, a divine alliance. Sometimes in the waiting, life is rearranging everything on your behalf. People are moving, circumstances are shifting, opportunities are being prepared, all without your awareness. And when it finally arrives, it will be so clear why you had to wait. You'll look back and realize that the person you became during the delay was the real miracle all along. There's also something else happening during delay. It tests your trust. Do you only believe in your dream when everything is working out? Or can you hold on when there is no evidence? True faith is forged in the waiting room. True belief is refined in the quiet moments when you feel like giving up, but choose to keep your heart open anyway. When you stop tying your worth to how quickly things happen and you start trusting the journey instead, you begin to walk in peace. Not because you have everything, but because you know it's already on its way. You are not forgotten. You are not being overlooked. Your dream is not lost. It is in motion. It is unfolding at the speed that serves your highest good. If something hasn't arrived yet, it's because it's not ready or you're not ready. And that's okay. Life doesn't rush perfection. The universe is not in a hurry. It wants to give you something lasting, something beautiful, something you'll be ready to hold with both hands when the time comes. So instead of asking, why is it taking so long? Ask yourself, what am I becoming in this delay? What strength is growing within me? What part of myself is being healed? What new level of trust am I being invited into? Because when you shift your focus from frustration to faith, the waiting no longer feels like a burden. It becomes part of the blessing. Keep going, keep believing, keep showing up with love, with trust, with patience. You are being guided. You are being prepared. And when the moment arrives, when everything aligns, you'll understand why it took time. The delay wasn't rejection. It wasn't denial. You must release resistance. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because resistance is the invisible wall that stands between you and the life you desire. It is the silent force that says, I don't believe it's possible, even while your words say, I want this so much. You see, the universe responds to energy, not just intention. And when your energy is filled with fear, doubt, and tension, you create a barrier to what you're trying to receive. So many people try to manifest their dreams while holding on to tight control. They try to force things to happen, to manipulate outcomes, to obsess over timing. But all of that is resistance. Resistance is control. Resistance is fear disguised as effort. It says, if I don't do it all, it won't happen. And yet, your most powerful creations come not from force, but from flow, from a place of surrender, trust, and peace. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean losing interest in your goals. It means creating space for the universe to move. It means softening your grip so that something higher can step in. When you release resistance, you are saying, I trust the process. I believe that what is meant for me will come, and I don't need to chase it. That trust is magnetic. That calm belief is what pulls your desire towards you. Resistance often shows up in our thoughts. It sounds like, what if it doesn't work? Or, I've tried everything and nothing's changing. These thoughts may seem harmless, but they carry a vibration of lack. And when you send out the frequency of lack, you receive more of it. The universe is always mirroring back your dominant vibration, not your wish, but your belief. So if deep down you're still holding on to fear, resentment, or frustration, it's time to gently release them. Not because you've failed, but because you're now ready to rise. You don't need to pretend to be positive all the time. That's not healing. That's suppression. True release happens when you feel your feelings and allow them to pass through you like waves, when you stop judging your pain and begin to witness it with love. Resistance fades when you stop trying to fix yourself and start honoring where you are. Every feeling, every thought, every moment is part of your journey. When you meet yourself with compassion, you dissolve the fight inside. And when there's no fight, there's no block. So many people think they need to earn their blessings by working harder or being more perfect. But you don't need to prove anything to receive love, success, or healing. The universe doesn't respond to how hard you try. It responds to how open you are. And openness comes when you let go, when you stop chasing and start aligning, when you stop clenching and start trusting. Imagine holding a bird in your hands. If you squeeze it too tightly, you'll harm it. If you let it go and it comes back, it was meant to be. Your dreams are like that. They're not here to be suffocated by your fear. They're here to breathe, to expand, to unfold naturally. And when you loosen your grip, you make space for miracles. Releasing resistance also means releasing timelines. So often we attach our desires to deadlines. We say, this must happen by next month, or if it doesn't happen by the end of the year, it's over. But those timelines are built on fear. They're built on the belief that life will pass you by if you don't push. But life is not passing you by. It's moving through you. And divine timing is always at work, even when you can't see it. Your job is not to control the clock. Your job is to stay in alignment, to live from a place of knowing, not needing. You release resistance every time you breathe deeply and say, I am safe. You release it when you stop comparing yourself to others. You release it when you celebrate the progress you have made instead of focusing on what's missing. You release it when you speak kindly to yourself. You release it when you remember that you are supported by something far greater than your fears. Let it be easier. Let it come gently. You don't have to fight your way to your dream. You just have to remove what stands in its way. And more often than not, it's the pressure, the worry, the mental noise that keeps it at a distance. Begin to relax. Begin to trust. Begin to say, even now, I am okay. Because when you release resistance, you open the door to everything you've ever wanted. Healing comes before receiving. It's a sacred truth that many overlook in the pursuit of their dreams. We often want the outcome, the success, the love, the abundance, but we forget that in order to fully receive and hold the blessing, we must first become the version of ourselves that can sustain it, the version that is whole, open, and ready. Life doesn't withhold from us out of cruelty or punishment. Life waits for our healing, because only through healing can we truly embody the worthiness that allows us to receive. You may think you're ready for the relationship, the career, the breakthrough, and maybe on the surface you are, but deep within there may still be wounds that need attention. Old pain, past betrayal, fear of being seen, subconscious beliefs that whisper, I'm not enough. Even while you speak affirmations out loud, the universe doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to what you hold in your vibration. And if your vibration is still carrying fear, shame, guilt, or unworthiness, then what you desire cannot land fully. Not because you don't deserve it, but because your inner space is not yet clear to hold it. Healing is not about fixing what's broken. You are not broken. Healing is about remembering who you were before life covered you in layers of fear and doubt. It's about removing the blocks that have built up through years of pain, rejection, and disappointment. It's about creating emotional and energetic safety within yourself so that when the blessing arrives, you don't sabotage it. So that when love shows up, you don't push it away. So that when opportunity knocks, you don't run back into hiding. You see, we don't attract what we want. We attract what we are ready for. And readiness is emotional. Readiness is energetic. You can't fake it. You can't bypass the work. And that's a beautiful thing. Because the journey of healing teaches you how powerful you really are. It shows you the strength of your heart, the resilience of your soul, and the grace that has always been with you. Healing strips away illusions and brings you back to truth. And in truth, you become magnetic to everything aligned with your highest good. Healing is not always glamorous. Sometimes it means sitting with the parts of yourself you've been avoiding, feeling the feelings you've buried, forgiving what was never fair, letting go of who you thought you had to be in order to be loved. It's uncomfortable at times, it stretches you, but within that discomfort is a gift, the freedom to finally live as your whole self. There are moments on this journey when you'll wonder why it's taking so long, why the things you want still feel distant, but pause and ask yourself, what still needs to be healed in me? Where am I still holding on to fear? Where am I still rejecting my own worthiness? Because healing clears the inner path. It clears the resistance. It invites peace. And peace is the soil in which all dreams take root. If you want deep love, heal the part of you that believes you're unlovable. If you want success, heal the part of you that fears failure or doesn't believe you're capable. If you want abundance, heal your relationship with receiving. Many of us have been conditioned to give and give, but never learned how to truly receive. That too is a wound. That too needs healing. Sometimes healing happens in layers. Just when you think you're done, something else rises, and that's okay. Healing is not a destination. It's a lifelong dance of becoming. And each layer you shed brings you closer to the real you, the you that is fully aligned, fully free, fully open to receive. You're not being punished by the delay, you're being purified, you're being elevated. Life is not keeping your blessing from you, it's preparing you for it in the most loving way. Trust that process. Trust that your inner work is creating visible results even if you can't see them yet. Healing may be invisible, but its impact is undeniable. When you shift internally, everything around you begins to reflect that shift. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to your heart. Celebrate the small breakthroughs. And most of all, don't rush the process. What's meant for you is not going anywhere. It's already yours on a soul level. Your healing is simply opening the door to let it in. You don't have to chase. You don't have to beg. Just keep clearing, keep rising, keep trusting. Because when your heart is healed and your spirit is clear, you become the container that can hold the very thing you once only dreamed of. And it will feel natural, effortless, peaceful, because you've done the sacred work. Healing comes before receiving, and you, dear soul, are healing. Signs will come when you are aligned, not when you are desperate, not when you are forcing things, but when your heart, your mind, and your energy are in harmony with what you truly desire. Alignment is not about perfection. It's about peace. It's about tuning your inner world to the frequency of trust, love, and surrender. When you are in alignment, life begins to whisper to you. It sends you confirmations, synchronicities, and gentle nudges that say, yes, you're on the right path. Many people spend so much time asking for signs while their energy is filled with fear. They beg the universe for a miracle, but inside they doubt, they worry, they question everything, and then they say the signs don't come. But signs are not something you chase. They appear when you are still enough to notice. They arrive when you've let go of resistance, when you're no longer demanding proof, but living in quiet faith. You might see repeating numbers, hear a song with the exact words your heart needed, or meet someone who says just the thing you were thinking about. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. The universe speaks a language beyond words. It speaks in patterns, energy, and rhythm. And it speaks loudest when your soul is clear, open, and in flow. Alignment doesn't mean your life is perfect. It means your inner world is stable. It means you're not constantly fighting against what is. You're not pretending everything is fine. You're just choosing to believe that everything is working out. Even when the details are still unfolding, that belief, that grounded trust, is the magnet. And when you live from that place, the signs come, not to convince you, but to comfort you. Have you ever had a moment when you thought of someone and they called, or felt something in your spirit and it turned out to be true? That's alignment. That's your intuition working clearly, because your mind wasn't clouded by noise. You were tuned in. And when you are tuned in, guidance becomes natural. You don't have to chase answers. They come to you, often in the gentlest ways. Sometimes the signs are external. A butterfly landing near you, a dream that feels more like a message than a story, a stranger saying exactly what you needed to hear. Other times the signs are internal. An unshakable peace, a sense of knowing, or a sudden release of something you've been carrying for too long. These are signs too. They show up as emotional clarity, as calm in the midst of chaos. They are the universe's way of saying, you shifted, you're aligned now. But you can't fake alignment. You can't pretend to be peaceful while holding tight to fear. The universe responds to your true state, not your masked emotions. That's why inner work is so important. The more you release what no longer serves you, whether it's fear, guilt, old beliefs, or resentment, the more you make space for guidance to arrive. Alignment is remembering who you really are beneath all the noise. It's knowing that you are not separate from the source, that you are not alone, that life is always speaking to you. But it whispers, not shouts. And to hear the whispers, you must quiet the chaos. You must slow down and listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart. When you are aligned, decisions feel lighter. You don't need to analyze everything to death. You feel drawn, guided, supported. You move from inspiration, not obligation. And everything starts to flow. Not because life has become easier, but because you've become more at ease with life. And that is when the signs pour in. That's when the universe shows you that it's not ignoring you. It's been waiting for you to come home to yourself. So if you've been asking for a sign, take a breath. Shift your focus from demanding proof to cultivating peace. Focus on aligning with love, with faith, with joy. Focus on becoming the version of yourself who already believes, who already feels safe, who already knows the dream is coming. When you do that, the signs will come, not because you're seeking them, but because you become someone who naturally attracts them. You are not lost. You are not off track. Sometimes alignment takes time. Sometimes it's not about doing more, but about doing less, releasing more, trusting more, living softer. When your energy matches the frequency of what you desire, the signs will appear. The right people, the right moments, the right paths, they all begin to reveal themselves. You don't have to force anything. You just have to align. And when you do, the universe will meet you there again and again with signs, synchronicities, and grace. Your readiness is recognized by God, not by what you say, not by what you post, not by what you wish for, but by what you believe and how you live. Divine timing is never based on external appearances. It is based on the alignment of your soul with the blessing you've asked for. You may think you're ready because you want it so badly. You may cry for it, beg for it, pray for it. But God doesn't look at the urgency of your desire. God looks at the energy you carry. And when that energy shifts into peace, trust, and belief, that is when heaven responds. You don't need to prove your readiness. You need only to become it. Readiness is not loud. It's not anxious. It's not full of striving and stress. It is quiet confidence. It is surrender. It is the deep, unshakable knowing that what's meant for you can never miss you, and what misses you is never meant to stay. God sees you even when you feel invisible. God hears your whispered prayers even when you think no one's listening. And when your soul is finally open, clear, and surrendered, that is when the divine door opens. You may wonder why some people seem to receive easily while you wait and wait, but you can't compare your timeline to someone else's. What you're being called to hold may be far greater, far deeper, and far more sacred. And with sacred things comes sacred preparation. You wouldn't hand a fragile treasure to a person who's not ready to carry it. And in the same way, God waits until your hands, your heart, and your mind are all prepared to receive what you've asked for. Sometimes the waiting feels like silence. Sometimes it feels like delay, but it's never denial. What you can't see is that every moment you spend healing, growing, learning, and releasing is a step closer to divine readiness. You don't have to rush. You don't have to hustle for your worth. You just have to be faithful with where you are, because when the right time comes, everything will align, not by accident, but by divine. Readiness is a vibration. It is when you are no longer begging, but becoming. It is when you stop trying to escape your current season and start honoring it. It is when you start to see the purpose in the process. It's when you stop saying, when will it come, and start saying, thank you for preparing me. That shift is everything. It moves you from waiting in fear to waiting in faith. And that's when things begin to move. God doesn't wait for you to be perfect. God waits for you to be aligned. That means aligned in your thoughts, your actions, your emotions. That means showing up every day as if the dream is already here. That means treating your current reality with love instead of resentment. Because when you are truly ready, you no longer need the external to validate the internal. You're already living in the vibration of your answered prayer. This is why healing is so important, not because you're broken, but because your unhealed wounds often create resistance. God is not holding your blessing hostage. Your pain might be holding it back. The fear of loss, the fear of failure, the belief that you're not enough. These things cloud your spiritual clarity. But as you let them go, as you trust, as you forgive, as you step into your true worth, you become a clear vessel. That's when the miracle flows in. Your readiness is not measured by your urgency. It's measured by your trust, by your ability to be calm in uncertainty, by your willingness to walk by faith, even when there's no sign of progress. Because faith is the evidence of things unseen. And when you carry that kind of faith, God responds, not just with signs, but with movement, with breakthroughs, with things you never saw coming. You won't have to chase. You won't have to beg. You won't have to manipulate or prove. The right people, the right opportunities, the right moments, they will find you because your energy will be speaking louder than words ever could. It will say, I am ready. And God, who knows your heart deeper than you do, will say, now is the time. So if you're waiting, don't just wait. Prepare, align, heal, trust, speak life over your situation, show up in faith, act like it's already on the way because it is. And when the time is right, not your time, but God's perfect time, it will arrive. And it will feel so natural, so aligned, so peaceful because you didn't force it, you became it. Your readiness is recognized by God. And the moment you fully believe that, everything begins to shift.